Time again. Let's go through this 7-point game. Playing white as always, so they come down with the 5-2. Double six is such a great start. Think about doubling after you get that double six, which I failed to do here. So even right before this, the cube, it's not a cube right here, but it's not that far off. 64%, 16. I make the 5-point, which is excellent. And then here's the blunder with me not doubling. So let's look at this. So when we're looking at doubles, we're going to look at our prime versus their prime. My prime is much better. My threats versus them, like my blitz. So I've got 10 in the zone here. They've got no anchor, so I definitely have blitz potential and prime potential. They don't have any of those things because we have full freedom, and we are up in the race. So all those things together, it's a clear double. Still not enough to drop because I only have 2-point board and they can anchor up and all these other things, but still not doubling. It's a huge error. I mean, huge blunder. And I've repeated it 3 times or 2 times. So I must have been sleeping. This was speed gammon, but still, this should be pretty textbook because this kind of position happens often. And I just said after a double six, you need to think about doubling. Because you get so improved. So here is the move. I should have doubled here. Same reason. It's even better for me now. 72-23. The move was correct, which is double six. I wasn't sure if I should have done this or this, but if I'm looking at this, it's a weird 3-point board with a small prime, and I'm losing. I'm probably not going to prime them. This is where you switch to a blitzing game because I have to make my 1 point because I can't do anything else. So making 2 points was fine. Hoping for a dance. Then they did this. And now this has got to be too good, but I doubled anyway. I go up to 80%, 55% gammon. So just a disaster with the cubing, with the doubling cube today. I only have a 1 or 2 to hit, but I should have thought of it from red. Like if red is in this position, what are they thinking? They're thinking, I hope he doubles, I hope he doubles, hope he doubles, so I can get out of there. So I definitely lost a lot. And although the match PR was okay, this game, 32. I mean, it's like 5 moves and 3 of them were blunders, so that'll do that. But let's see what else we can do in the next game. So the next game, they start with the 6-3. Come on, hit on their side of the board, which is awesome. They're coming in making that. So as soon as they make this bar point, I know it's going to be a slower, like a longer game. I'm just racing. I'm just moving up with my spare or my blot, moving them up and get hit back. Coming with the 5-4, definitely making that point, which is awesome. So now he's back to this. So it's a mutual holding game until I hit this big double from here. So big double, so I think about it, what's the race going to be after I get this double? So double fives is easy. Like right now it's 159 to 150. Just subtract 20. I'll have 139. So that's a good enough race to jump. I'm going to be ahead in the race. When you're ahead in the race and you want as little contact as possible because you want to, like, if you are ahead in a straight race with no contact, that's what is pretty much a guaranteed win. So that was a big winner for us. After this, we're at 60%. So it's still a close enough race, right? We're only up 11. Like another big double on their side would clear that, but there's not going to be a lot of contact. Even though I'm blocked by 6s, I have enough rolls to probably not give up a shot, but we'll see how that goes. Now I'm coming down 6-2. Remember, our next mission is to clear this 13. That's going to be the toughest thing. So that's our next mission. And we got ourselves in a position where we can clear it with a double 4. Now we're going to be a huge leader in the race. So much so I should have doubled here. But then I thought, it's only 9 pip lead. You can come up with formulas. Or you don't have to come up with formulas. You can read the formulas, how to estimate if this is a cube or not. I don't get that detailed. Just because, especially if I'm playing speed gammon, I just kind of eyeball it. So that's probably one of the things that's limiting me from becoming a great player. Okay, so here, this is a this is a blunder not to double. So here it's still 9 pips, but he's got these crossovers. So you pay attention to crossovers. So whenever you go from one section to another, it's called a crossover. So let's count our crossovers. We've got 5. There's 5. They have to get there, and then we're ready to bear off. He's got to go 1, 2, and then he's got to go 3, 4, and then 5, 6. So we're up in one crossover, and we're on roll. So we're gonna probably get 2 crossovers here, or at least 1 or something. So should have been a double there. Anyway, let's go back here. So I'm clearing this point. You don't want to mess around. Like 2 away, you're not worried about clearing that 9. Even though if you get like a 6-1, it's going to leave a shot, or a 6-2. Don't worry about that few shots. You want to just get on board, because this is a close race. I don't want to be going 6-2, 5-3. It's a significant error, 64 errors. So it's because that's not a lot of contact that you don't want to hesitate, and you want to clear the points, because you want to get those crossovers. When it's a close race, those things are more important. Now, let's say if this 9 was on the 13 instead of the 9, then it's a lot riskier to get those guys home. That's when I would start just making extra moves inside my board and leave the landing spot to make it easier to get home, but I didn't have to worry about that. And, okay, so now I finally double. Was this a double here as well? This is a no double here. So look at the score. It's super close. He's spread out. I got a lot of things on my 6. And then he gets a 3-2, which is not a ton. So now I double take correctly. Definitely no gammon. 69% wins. And it's a 1-0 game. So I'm probably going to clear it. And then it's a lot easier to see. And I usually just skip the bearing off, but let's do it this time. So when you bear off, it's very simple. Just take as many. So here there's no contact. I don't have any red on the bar, no red in here. I'm going to take off as many as possible with each roll. So I take 2 off, I take 2 off, I take 2 off, I take 2 off, and I take 1 off here. So, and then the next thing, if you can't take 2 off, then you want to fill your gaps. If you don't have any big stacks, then just fill your gaps. And the most important gaps to fill are the ones that are closer to the 6. So there we go. I take 2 off. Now all of a sudden he's in the lead. He doesn't have as many off as me, but I've got this 1 on the 6. A 5 is a miss. Like I won't be able to take off a checker if I get a 5. So he should be doubling. I take 2 off. I get lucky and I take 2 off. He should still double. Then I take 1 off and I lose. Okay. So there we go. Now we're down to 1. Let's see what happens here. Okay, I'm making my bar. He's making his bar. 5-2, they split. I make the 5 point. This is something to remember. It's still good to make this 5 point, even though you're giving up the 5 pip away shot from the red one. The 5 bars, I just remember this. It's early in the game. It's very rare that making the 5 point is not a good move, even if you're passing up a hit or if you are leaving a direct shot. It's usually worth it. It's just such an important thing. Here, instead of, I should have been running. I thought about bringing down the extra builder, but not a huge deal. 2-1, I'm making my anchor instead of messing around here. You definitely want to get off this 24. It's okay to have an anchor and a loose guy. That's kind of like a common. Now I don't need to worry about this guy so much. It just kind of makes it so they can't easily throw things at the 2, 3, or 1. It helps my contact is what it's about. Here I snuck up to the 20 because that puts some extra pressure on this 14. Otherwise, I would have liked to stay back if I had something else productive to do. 13-2 was a mistake. I should have actually run. So this is the one I didn't want to run because I was down in the race considerably. But I think that just putting a checker on the 2 is pretty ugly. This one, okay, this is This is almost as bad as my play. So it would have been better just to do this because it's not as much. This adds difficulty if they do run from the 8 and have to leave a single checker on the 8. Just an extra ammunition there. And this is not a lot of contact. This is just waiting to get hit. Look at this. He's got 3. He's got spares on these 3. So that's a triple shot. He's going to have lots of chances to point on me. Now look at this. Me and my buddy making 4 blunders in a row. I don't actually know this person. Okay, so he's making the 1 where really he should have just come down. It should have just come down instead of making this 1. You got a nice prime there, but this is not going to be that trivial to get home. So you want to take the opportunity and clear what you can when you're up in the race. But that's actually kind of a tricky move because it kind of makes it harder for the 17 to come home if you leave that 13. So I'm not super surprised that he screwed that up. Here I screwed up. I made the 1 with my move here. And again, since I didn't want to move from the 21 before, I continue to make that error. That's when your PR really goes bad. If you keep making the same mistake over and over, which is what's happening here. He clears that one. And here's this mistake. So here I hit and just brought them both down, but I should have hit and cleaned 1 up. That's 1 less blot. It duplicates 1s. So see, notice how it's duplicating 1. So if he comes in after this play, he can hit me there with a 1. And he can hit me here with the 1. So unless he gets double 1s, he's going to have to choose which one he's going to hit. So it's kind of less overall good rolls for them. So that's duplication is one of the key things to notice when you're debating between moves like this. And look how big a difference it made, 96. Because this now, look at all these extra shots. He's going to hit with a 1. He's going to hit with like a 4, pretty much 4-3, 4-4, 4-6, 3. It's just like there's so many. And look over here. So I'm going to get hit back like crazy. I should have just tidied up 1 less blot and also duplicate the 1s. Here we go. So I'm coming in. Now he doubles. I wasn't super confident in this take, but I did end up taking because I've got this 5 bar. I knew the 5 point. I knew I wasn't getting a gammon much. He's only gammoning me 9%, even though I've got 4 back. That's because I won't get primed in. I can escape with at least those 3. This guy might get picked up. But my board here sucks. So I was like, do I really have enough chances to win, even if I do get a hit? And the race is kind of out of hand. So I wasn't sure, but sure enough, because the gammons are low, I can still take with less winning chances. So let's see how this plays out. He hits me. I have to come in. This is extra contact value because I'm just coming in. You don't want to come in the 5. You want to just risk it because at this point, we cannot win without hitting for sure. So we gotta sell out that, and I'm not worried about gammons because I have an anchor. That's why I want the contact. Of course, instantly get hit. I'm dancing. So now, here you could have made the 7 or you could make the 4. It doesn't matter that much because the chances of us hitting is low. That's why it doesn't matter that much. Okay, so here I'm making this 4 instead of just moving, just because it's only a few pips, just in case I do get hit. And look, he's got 5. Like if he had a double 6 or a double 5, that leaves a shot. So I might as well play for that. It doesn't matter very much, though. It doesn't matter. Would have been better just to do this because the chances that are so slim. You're just trying to save the gammon now. Just trying to save the gammon. Saving the gammon is easy. We want to get most crossovers. We want to not waste pips. So when we come in, we want to come in onto the 6. See, this is perfect. What we don't want to do is roll and come all the way to the 5, the 4, or the 3, because that's wasting pips. Okay, so here's perfect 6-3. When you have the chance to land right on the 6, that's when you do it. And then this is a double 6. So I eventually resign because I saved the gammon. Let's go to game 4. Game 4. Okay. 6-2 to start. 3-1 for me. And then 6-2. When you split and then you get the same number again the next time and you get to make both those points, that's pretty sweet. But that was what they did, not us. So here, now I'm going to start making my board and doing this. Slightly better to come all the way to the 21, but I did not do that. Here's a blunder. What did I do? Huh? Okay, so I made this 4-point. You know, I think a lot of people would do that, but I should have just come down from here and made my board a little bit better. I'm down 16 pips. Why do we do this? So why is it wrong to make this 4 when I'm looking at this in front of me? And now I've made this mistake before. The problem is by doing that, I'm reducing my contact zone. So the contact zone is, it goes all the way to the 24 when my last checker is there. If my last checkers are here, the contact zone ends here. So I'm shrinking the contact zone. That means they can play easily over my anchor and just dump a bunch of guys there. They have so many, they've got 6 on here. So they got 4 spares, which means 4 times they can throw a 5, a 4, or a 3 just to help their roll. They could just throw it over the fence and not have to worry about me hitting it because it's past the contact zone. So I made this easier for them by doing that. An anchor there is just not necessary. They don't have enough robustness. They don't have enough shots. They don't have a prime in front of me that I'm worried about getting stuck behind. I should just leave it split. So also, when they're split, when you get a fly shot, like if there was a loose blot out here, let's say this 14 he gets a 3-1 and then he goes 17 to 15, then I can all of a sudden hit him with an 8 or a 9, not just an 8. So that it adds up. It adds up. All those indirect shots add up. If you have 2 blots back there, it's a lot more numbers to hit. So anyway, I did sneak up, and then I rolled a double 6, which changes my situation to a point where I am now slightly ahead in the race. So this is not far enough in the race to double. If you look at the cube, it's 50-50 pretty much. But I'm paying attention. Am I getting big rolls? Is he getting small rolls? That is what I'm doing. 6-1, I had to clear this 9, which isn't great. So I keep looking every roll. Can I double? Can I double? What's the race? Now he's ahead in the race, so I'm definitely not doing that. If someone gets a big double like this guy just did, he broke all contact, gets the big double. Now it's 15 pips lead, and it is a double pass. These are easy. If you're down this much, even in a long race, it is over. Okay, so I give up. Even though I was already down 4-1, you don't want to give that away. There's no doubles. I mean, there's no gammons. 82%, just drop it. Let's go. 5-1, let's see if we can come back. We can't. But let's see. Let's get rid of that. Okay, so a gammon for them wins the game. We need a lot of work. So double 1s. Remember, double 1s. Some people do 3 down there. You might be tempted to make both of these. This would be a blunder. You might be thinking about doing this, but because they've split, they'll have the direct 2 to 8. That's 6 pips away. They'll have a direct shot. And some extra ones from the 1s. So just know when you get double 1s, which is my favorite, come out to the 22. Okay, and now I should have doubled here. The score is 5-1. I'm down in the race. I have 1 extra point. I've got some indirect shots. I've got not a lot of great stuff. This is only 60% and 17% gammons. This is strictly because of the score. He's closer to win. So I want to double that, especially if I have gammons potential, even though it's just a little bit. But then what happens? He gets double 3s. And here I double. Okay, so here is a clear double for me. He's got a stupid looking home board. I've got a lot of threats. He's got no anchor. I've got him outboarded. Not a lot of ammunition here. There's only 8 checkers, but I could hit. I could make this 8. And I've got freedom pretty much. Like, he's not priming me at all. I double, and at the score he should have passed, but he did not. So we're playing on. 5-2. Okay, so I had a lot of options here. It's 5-2. What would you have done? Here I went for the double hit because I figure if I'm going to hit once, I might as well hit twice. Because what else am I going to do? Bring one down. Almost as good as a different game plan. And that's cool when there's two different game plans that are close in move. I don't think that happens that often. So here, unstacking your 13, making this is for like the priming game. Then all of a sudden I've got more checkers down here. I've got another point to block him. Hitting once is just not as good. Not a huge difference. And then just doing this and moving up isn't good at all. So anyway, I found the right one. 2 on the bar is better by far. He comes in with 1. Now this isn't as cool. So here I made the 1, which was correct, but I should have got rid of this stack instead of thinking about racing. I did think about that. You know, because this guy, all of a sudden then I've got 1, 2, 3 builders to build something here. You know, that's what I'm talking about. I want to get there. And then I just built the 5. You build the 1 is because we're up in the race. We can easily just race this guy all the way around. Just try to win that way. Making that point. This point I could have run with this one. But that's a little bit naive in thinking that we're going to get all these guys home without leaving a shot, even though they're on the bar. But they have an anchor, so they are going to come in. There is going to be more contact. Just knowing that and accepting it makes it clear that making another point is correct. He dances. Then I'm continuing to start my mission to come home. I should have done this instead, but it doesn't matter too much. 3-2. This has got a lot of similar scored moves. I just kind of booked it, but it's not really a big difference either way. 4-1 coming around. Okay, 9-3. You could have done something. We could have done any kind of air. We could have done this. We could have done this. Making the 7. Maybe somebody would have made the 7. Whereas making the 7... would have been a big mistake because it's leaving a 1 shot here. I mean, you kind of like to do that, but here they have no board. They got 2 blots there. We really want to take this opportunity to leave them with 1 anchor, 1 number that can hit us back from our board instead of 2, which is just, it's going to save us coming in. He might dance for a while because that's a 5-point board. Getting them on a 5-point board, they got lucky and came in right away, but you can dance on that thing for a long time. Here I'm moving my point up a bit, so I'm blocking 7s instead of 9s. Not a huge deal. You could just go to the 5, which is what I also thought, but this could help. 6-5. Okay, so they're running around here now. I'm leaving a blot there because you have to make when you're coming home, these guys are the priority to come home. We don't want to leave a direct shot, but we don't mind leaving an indirect shot. That's like, what would this be? This is a 6. That would have been an 11. So it can only hit 2 times. 6-5 is the only thing that could hit it. So you're not going to do much better than that. This one, okay, this was right. I wasn't sure about this because I thought about moving up or just sending 1 in. Those would have been fine. I also thought about going to the 7 point, which would have been a blunder because it's leaving an extra blot there. But here we don't really care. We're not going to try and block them in anymore. We're not going to win many gammons. There's only 10% because he's got an anchor, but it's a bit of a deep anchor. So we're just trying to say, okay, what's the easiest thing to get us home? Look at their board. Before I make this decision. They've got a 5-point board. I don't want to get hit. He definitely can win if he hits me. So let's bring that guy down and then just clearing that one thing. Here we go. We're clearing it. We're just hoping to clear it and not even leave an indirect shot because look at the board. It's locked up now. Now we're in. Taking 2 off here. We could have moved this 5 to the 1 to leave us with even number blots up at the top is what I thought about, which is this. This would have been a small error. Interesting. So I don't have a good rule of thumb for you right now. Maybe you have one for me. Okay, he's running. Here, now, instead of going... What else could we have done? Nothing, really. We just had to do 4-2. Here we go. Now we have to leave a shot. We had to. And they hit us. So that happens. And I guess what? We're eventually going to lose this game. What was our chances of winning at this point? At this point, we were 96%, 96.7. All right. And then after this roll, we're 82. And this would have actually been smarter to take the extra checker off. If you're going to leave a risk, you might as well take that extra checker off, and then we should be able to clean that up afterwards. But we get hit, and that turns into a 50-50 game almost, 55% for them. I'm coming in right away. At this point, it's 81% for me again. But I have to leave another shot. He hits me again. And it's not terribly exciting, and I end up losing. So that was the game. Overall, I did well. This match was okay, but it was that first one where I didn't double forever. But we'll go get them next time. All right, thanks for watching.